See, I guess first things first, I mean, welcome back. It's been a while since we've had a chance to see you. I'm just kind of curious, where are the emotions at, man? I mean, are you excited to be back and competing, or has this kind of whole process tested your passion for this sport a little bit?
I'm excited to be back and competing. You know, I love fighting. I'm excited to be here in Japan, really. Loved UFC, nothing but good things to say about them. But coming and fighting in Japan on New Year's Eve is a pretty big deal. Fighting in the Saitama Super Arena, watching all the prides and stuff. Those are the guys I watched before I got into the sport. Vanderlei Silva, Fedor, all those guys, Rampage. Just saw him down there in the lobby and stuff. So, in the back of my mind, I always knew one day I'd be here fighting, and didn't know it would happen how it did. But to come here and get a title fight, first fight, and one of the biggest cards that ever. It's a pretty big deal for me, and yeah, you can't be nothing but excited.
What's this past 15 months or so been like for you, man? Because you fight a guy that ends up testing positive. That seems terrible, and then you get tied up into a drug situation. I don't think any of us thought of you as much of a cheater or that sort of thing. But I mean, what has this process been like for you?
It's actually a blessing in disguise. You guys know, obviously, the elevator stuff that happened, so it's given me time to get healed up instead of having to take fights. It did financially put me in a kind of a rough spot, but I was able to get through it. Sponsors and stuff helping, get me through it, but it gave me a chance to get healthy and not have to go, because when you turn down fights in UFC, you turn down too many, then you sit on the shelf, so yeah, like I said, got healthy, and I feel great and excited to be back, and I think I needed that time to get healthy and just kind of stay off stuff for a little bit and do what I could do. And I did some stem cell in America. It's much more regulated, and I think it's helped out a little bit, and like I said, feeling healthy and excited to go test drive the new body.
At the end of the day, is that essentially what happened? Is you thought you were doing legitimate stem cell technology, and it ended up being tainted?
You get what you pay for.
Is that the warning to people?
Yeah, you get what you pay for. The price in Mexico is very, enticing. Price in America is about triple, so is what it is. Lesson learned, and yeah. But like I said, blessing in disguise, because now I come back and I'm a little more healthy than I was, able to endure a much better training camp, push the limits a little more without having that downtime and recovery and rest as much. Obviously you still need that, but when I had going on what I had going on, it was a much more needed rest and recovery, and you're missing out on important trainings.
Where do you stand on the whole back issue and all that? I mean, are you okay now, or is it still something you have to deal with?
It's something, it's a lifelong thing I'll have to deal with, but it's, with the technology and stuff and medical advances, stem cell and all that, it sounds like I'll be able to, kind of get it regenerated and hopefully someday be back 100%. So it's going to take time, and yeah, you need time off to do that.
Yeah.
You can't, when you do the stem cell therapy, you're off for 2 weeks, no training. If you do, it kills the stem cells. So, every time you do that. So yeah, I'm kind of an expert on that field now. Before I didn't really know much about it. Didn't understand, the different kinds of stem cells, and apparently in Mexico they were using pig stem cells, which are, that makes sense why maybe they were adding stuff to it. So yeah, but like I said, blessing in disguise, and I'm happy I got that time off, and happy to be here fighting in Japan.
I guess to be clear, technically you're still under USADA sanction, right? I mean, you're not, so you are clear, because I thought you still had USADA sanction to deal with.
I am technically, but since they don't, they have no oversight here in Japan. There's no issue. I just won't be able to fight in the United States for another year.
That's what I was going to ask. Are you worried that you might be jeopardizing your ability to compete in the United States in the future or anything like that?
I don't much care. I don't have many years left in the sport. I'm going to come and fight, Also, I'm not in their testing pool anymore. Once you're released from UFC, you're out of their testing pool. You're out, you're not a part of them anymore. Obviously, the United States, or organizations like Bellator, whoever else. That's pretty much Bellator and UFC. Or in like World Series, or not World Series, what is it, PFL now. So if they recognize, USADA's sanction. So obviously for 1 year I wouldn't be able to compete over there. Or even if I'm not, I'm happy here and fighting in Japan. And it's been nothing but great since I've got here. All the staff, the accommodations. I like how they run the show here.
So what is the feeling like for you? I mean, first time fighting outside the UFC since 2007, I think. I mean, is it nervous? Is it exciting again? I mean,
it's exciting. I had 21 fights in the UFC as the same song and dance. After about 10 of them, it's you start getting familiar. You don't get the emotions, the excitement. Where now I'm like, it is new. It is going to be different. The entrance and stuff. There's a lot of new elements to it. So I think it's going to bring that excitement back, those nerves a little more, kind of put you on edge, and hopefully brings out the best in me.
What about jumping in the deep end right away, right? I mean, they didn't come give you a warm-up fight to say, hey, welcome to the organization, right? I mean, right away you're fighting for a title against a tough guy. Do you know much about the guy? What do you think about the fight?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously Ryan Bader is one of my teammates. He was trying to get this fight, so we were watching. I've long been watching video on him, and in my opinion, it's a classic striker versus wrestler matchup. I know where he's dangerous. He knows where I'm dangerous. With that being said, I feel like I'm the more well-rounded fighter. But he's a big dude, and if he hits you, he's got a lot of knockouts. So it's one of those things. Either I'm going to go in and impose my will, hopefully submit. And there's a small chance I could knock him out too, though, if he gets too careless. But, it's obviously no secret of how this fight's going to pan out. I'm going to be looking to put him on his back. He's going to be looking to knock me out.
Yep.
Like UFC 1. Striker versus wrestler, I've watched his ground game and stuff. It's not his strong point. I feel like my stand-up isn't my strong point, but it's competent, and I'm there, and I should be able to hold my own on the feet until, the takedown presents itself.
It's the last thing for me. I mean, you were open. You said, hey, listen, I know I don't have a lot of time left, but how much time do you have left? I mean, how much more can you do this, and what do you want to do before you do call it a career?
Well, I want to fight for a title, and I'm doing it. So, yeah, I'm just taking it fight by fight. Like I said, I don't know how many more I have left in me, Could be this one, it could be 5 more. But being off for a year and coming in, I'm not going to make or break on this fight. It's been a long layoff, so see how this goes though, and go. But yeah, I'm not going to fight into my mid-40s or anything. I'm 36 now, so yeah, Father Time's catching up and keeping an eye on that clock, and I want to make sure when I leave this sport I am somewhat healthy. I can still play with my daughter. I have a 6-year-old daughter. I don't want to be in a wheelchair or something, or not remember yesterday. So gotta, just see how you feel, and don't want to hang around the sport too long. I have a college degree. I've met so many connections through fighting. Fighting's changed my life. The type of people and organizations and companies you've got to be around. It's been life-changing, and nothing but good stuff to say, and blessed to have competed, and hopefully get hopefully 3 to 5 more years, but we'll see.
You talk about new excitement, being new promotion, but you're also fighting in a new, you're not fighting in a cage this time. When was that? Have you ever not fought in a cage? Maybe like your early?
One time, yeah. Which, that's an exciting story. Yeah. Fought in Mexico. I think it was my 5th professional fight in Nogales, Mexico, in a bullfighting arena, and a ring that was like only a 3-rope ring, not the 5-rope. Looked like a WWF wrestling ring. There was no canvas. It was plywood that they rolled paint onto it. No commission, no medical staff. At that time, didn't really understand that those people should be there. It was so early in my career. And now going and doing that, I'd be like, no, this is unsafe. 24, 25 years old. Let's get it, So, yeah, this is be my 2nd time fighting in a ring, but I think it'll be more, if something happens, there's actually medical staff and a commission to kind of oversee some stuff. So.
I hear Rizin has the canvas also.
It's not just plywood and paint on it, but I mean, those were the early days of MMA, Things have come a long way in the last 12 years. So yeah, just seeing the evolution of the sport, I kind of feel like a veteran now for sure. Wouldn't say a pioneer, but kind of. We've saw that you've been around. You've saw the changing of tides, and UFC getting on ESPN and Fox, like the PFL, like Rizin, Bellator. It's all we're hitting the main stage. We're there. We've arrived.
Are you ready for the new rules over here? So, what is so for the people watching at home? What are some of the rule differences that you're going to be fighting under versus what they probably know?
You can soccer kick people to the head, and stomp on their head. It'd be like the old street fighting days. That and no elbows. But I'm trying. I need I don't know. That's one thing I got to get clarified on. I'm hoping if my opponent agrees to elbows, and I would assume on the ground. Yeah. Or maybe even on the feet too. I think we both have to agree to it. I want them. I don't know if he'll want them, but we'll see. So yeah, hopefully I don't end up throwing like an illegal elbow or something. I don't think I will. If I know the rule set, I think in my mind, be controlled. But yeah, it's definitely some new stuff, and just got to go with the flow and figure it out.
And Rizin and the big Japanese promotions, they have big walkouts, big. Spectacle. You don't have to tell us what you have planned, but are you excited about that walkout? Because it's gonna be different,
I'm just going with the flow. Yeah, I'm not trying to plan any big thing. Like it's still there's gonna be some nerves. It is the first time, so yeah, I'm not trying to plan this big walkout and introduction stuff. I just want to go with the program, feel it out. Hopefully get a couple fights here, then maybe start ramping things up. But yeah, right now. Yeah, it's like you said, it's not a warm-up fight. I'm walking into deep waters right away, so I'm focused on the fight. Maybe down the road, once I feel comfortable here, start planning some cool stuff. But I feel like it's a chance to kind of rebrand yourself, and like UFC is kind of cookie cutter, not to dog on them or anything, but they don't allow special walkouts or cool stuff, So it is going to be fun, get to kind of that entertainment aspect of things or the WWE side of things. But when you get in there, it's still a fight, but you get to have a little more fun with it.